Now, under this last unit, number 5, we will be discussing today foreign exchange risk and IFRS. So these two topics we will be covering today of the last unit. Foreign exchange risk and IFRS. IFRS stand for International Financial Reporting Standards. International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS. Before IFRS, we will be discussing foreign exchange risk. Foreign exchange risk is also known as currency risk. In some books, you will find the word FX risk. So this is one meaning is same. Either FX risk or currency risk or foreign exchange risk. The meaning is same. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me share with you PPT of foreign exchange risk. Can you see my PPT?
Yes, sir.
The title is Foreign Exchange Risk. This foreign exchange risk, as I told you, it is also known as exchange rate risk or FX risk or currency risk. If you observe in this slide, second bullet point from the last second bullet point, look at this, my cursor. Can you view my cursor over here? Yes, can you able to see this line? Can you see this line? Look at this line. It is also known as exchange rate risk, FX risk, or currency risk. Okay. So the meaning is same. Got my point? Now, the first line of this slide. Now, what is the foreign exchange risk? Exchange means when we exchange our home currency with other country. So there exchange happens. Exchange means when we exchange domestic currency with foreign currency. There exchange take place, and when exchange take place, always it is associated with the risk. Risk is nothing but the fluctuation in exchange rate, that is there is a risk involved, because always there is a fluctuation in the currency rate. Even if you observe dollar with Indian rupee, so from last 1 week, there is a continuous fluctuation in the exchange rate. Maybe when at the end of February, the dollar rate to rupaya, it was 74 rupees. Will anybody tell me what is the rate of today? Dollar to rupaya, what is the rate today or yesterday? Yes, please. Can you answer me? What is the rate?
No, sir.
It is today rate is 76 rupees. Dollar to rupaya rate is how much? How much it is? Today's rate is 76. How much rate? 76. So my point is that how every day there is a fluctuation in rate. Am I correct? Every day there is a fluctuation in rate. And maybe now because of this war condition and a lot of pressure is there, and that is why the dollar rate is increasing day by day. Maybe within the 2-3 days, the rate may be 78 rupees per dollar, 78. So from 74 to 78, so difference is how much? 4 rupees difference, no? 74 to 78. So within a span of 10 days, the dollar has increased almost by 4 rupees. So here what is happening? Our rupaya is depreciating and dollar is appreciating. Dollar is appreciating and rupaya is depreciating. If you compare last 10 days rate between dollar and rupaya, you will observe that what is happening to the rupaya? What is happening to rupaya? Yes. Can you answer me? What is happening to rupaya? Rupee is depreciating or appreciating? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So in last 10 days, rupaya is appreciating or depreciating? Yes. There is appreciation in rupaya or depreciation in comparison with the dollar rupaya. Yes.
Depreciation.
There is a depreciation of rupaya, na? Depreciation of rupaya or dollar?
Rupaya.
Rupaya. So there is a depreciation. Now here, try to understand this line. It is a potential gain or loss that result from the change in the exchange rate. Now let me give the example. Now suppose we belong to India, okay, and there is other party who is from USA, Now assume that between USA person and us, there is agreement that on say 8th of March, we need to pay $10 to USA person. Okay, now this agreement we have done. Suppose in case of today, now today rate is 76 rupees. So in order to purchase $10, we will have to deposit 76 multiplied by 10. That comes to 760 rupees. So if we pay 760 rupees, then only we will get $10. Am I correct? Am I correct? बरोबर आहे की नाही? 760 रुपये द्यावे लागतील ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now continue this example. Suppose this transaction, $10, payment of $10. If we do it on 10th of March, now suppose, just imagine on 10th of March, suppose if dollar rate increases, today is 76 and now 10th of March, suppose if it is 78 rupees, then what happen? How much amount we have to pay on 10th of March? If it is 78 rupees, on 10th of March, suppose dollar rate if it is 78, today is 76, today's rate is 76. Now on 10th of March, suppose if it is 78 rupees, so for $10, how much amount we have to pay? Can you answer me? किती अमाऊंट द्यावं लागेल आपल्याला 10 मार्चला? 10 मार्चला समजा 78 रुपये जर डॉलर झाला तर आपल्याला $10 साठी किती पैसे द्यावे लागतील? Yes. किती अमाऊंट द्यावं लागेल? 78 रुपये जर डॉलर झाला तर 10 मार्चला आपल्याला $10 घ्यायचे. एका डॉलरची किंमत 78 रुपये. तर 10 मार्चला किती द्यावं लागतील? हॅलो, am I audible? Hello, am I audible to you? माझा आवाज पोहोचतोय का? आजचा रेट जर का 76 आहे, आज जर आपण पेमेंट केलं डॉलरचं $10 तर 760 रुपीज द्यावे लागतील. हेच जर पेमेंट आपण 10 मार्चला केलं, समजा 10 मार्चला जर का रेट 78 रुपये असेल तर आपल्याला 780 रुपये द्यावे लागतील. म्हणजेच काय झालं, डिफरन्स किती आला? 780 आणि 760 मध्ये 20 रुपयाचा. सो वी हॅव टू पे 20 रुपीज मोर इफ वी कंप्लीट दिस ट्रान्झॅक्शन ऑन 10th ऑफ मार्च. सो आपल्यासाठी तो लॉस आहे का गेन आहे? आपल्याला लॉस आहे का गेन आहे? या एक्सचेंज रेट मुळे आपल्याला लॉस होतोय का, म्हणजे आपल्याला तोटा होतोय का फायदा होतोय? लॉस आहे का गेन आहे आपल्यासाठी? आज जर केलं पेमेंट तर 760 रुपये, 10 मार्चला केलं तर 780 रुपये. तर आपल्याला गेन आहे का लॉस आहे? इज देयर लॉस आहे? तर दिस इज द रिस्क. याला म्हणतो आपण रिस्क, कारण हा लॉस आहे आपला. लॉस म्हणजेच रिस्क आले की नाही. सो एक्सचेंज रेट मुळे देअर विल बी आयदर गेन ऑर लॉस. उलट पण होऊ शकतं. समजा 10 मार्चला जर का रेट 74 झाला, जस्ट एक्झाम्पल म्हणून, तर आपल्याला गेन आहे का लॉस आहे? समजा 74 रुपीज जर रेट झाला तर आज 76 आहे. आज जर पेमेंट केलं तर 760 रुपीज द्यावे लागतील आणि 10 मार्चला 74 झाला, तर मग त्याच्यामध्ये गेन आहे का लॉस आहे आपल्याला? हॅलो, या केसमध्ये मग गेन आहे का लॉस आहे? काय समजतंय तुम्हाला? या केसमध्ये गेन आहे का लॉस आहे? हॅलो, गेन आहे का लॉस आहे? हा, जर का 74 झाला डॉलर 10 मार्चला, तर आपल्याला गेनच होईल ना याच्यातून, हो की नाही? गेन होईल, कारण आज 76 रुपीज आहे, 10 मार्चला 74 झाला तर आपल्याला फायदा होईल. So that is why I have used your word potential. It is a potential gain or loss. एक संभाव्य आपल्याला फायदा होऊ शकतो किंवा तोटा होऊ शकतो या एक्सचेंज रेटमुळे. कारण एक्सचेंज रेट, देर इज अ कंटिन्युअस फ्लक्च्युएशन इन एक्सचेंज रेट, कंटिन्युअस. डॉलरचं जर तुम्ही बघितलं तर एव्हरी मिनिट देर इज अ चेंज इन डॉलर रेट, एव्हरी मिनिट. दिवसाचा तर खूप मोठा फरक झाला. तुम्ही जर का बघितलं गुगलवरती, तर you will observe that every minute there is a change in dollar rate. Now look at this second line. An uncovered claim is called a long. जो काय अनकवर्ड क्लेम आहे त्याला लॉंग असं म्हणतात. लॉंग म्हणजे काय? अगेन यू विल बी आस्क्ड इन MCQ एक्झाम, मल्टिपल चॉईस ऑफ क्वेश्चन, मल्टिपल चॉईस क्वेश्चन मध्ये लॉंग. तर लॉंगचं किंवा यू विल बी आस्क्ड दॅट an uncovered claim is called dash dash. An uncovered claim is called dash dash, and you will be given 4 options. So you will have to choose correct option, that is long. An uncovered claim is called long. आणि शॉर्ट कोणाला म्हणतात? an uncovered liability ला. जी लायबिलिटी अनकवर्ड आहे त्याला शॉर्ट म्हणतात आणि जी असेट अनकवर्ड आहे त्याला लॉंग म्हणतात. लॉंग आणि शॉर्टचा फरक कळला का? हॅलो, समजलं का लॉंग आणि शॉर्टचा अर्थ? व्हॉट इज लॉंग अँड व्हॉट इज शॉर्ट? Uncovered claim is known as long and uncovered liability is known as short. समझली स्लाइड? समजलं का? Let us go to the next slide. Next slide. Now, what are the types of foreign risk, foreign exchange risk types? So these are the basically three types. There are 3 types. Look at here. Transaction exposure. Exposure म्हणजे to expose. आपण म्हणतो ना की we are exposed to cultural environment, we are exposed to political environment. Expose होणे, expose. So similarly, transaction exposure, then translation exposure and economic exposure. So basically, this is being divided into 3: transaction, translation, and economic. तीन प्रकारच्या रिस्क आहे. How many types of risk involved in foreign exchange? Yes. How many types of risk involved in foreign exchange? Hello, am I audible? Am I audible? How many types of risk involved? Yes, how many types of risk involved in foreign exchange? How many types of risk? Will you answer me? Count this line 1, 2, 3. How many risks? Hello. There are three types of foreign exchange risk involved: transaction exposure, translation exposure, economic exposure. Now let us understand one by one. Now what is transaction exposure? Transaction exposure, which includes obligation for purchase or sale of goods. ज्या ज्या वेळेला आपण गुड्स परचेस किंवा सेल करतो, फॉरेन गुड किंवा सर्व्हिसेस, गुड्स किंवा सर्व्हिसेस, that time this purchase or sale which happens on a agreed price. Okay, so borrowing and lending of currency, आपण करन्सी बॉरो पण करतो किंवा लेंड पण करतो, तर त्यावेळेला व्हॅल्यू इज नॉट शुअर, देयर इज अनसर्टनिटी इन व्हॅल्यू. सो ओपन पोझिशन इन क्रॉस करन्सी कमिटमेंट, दॅट इज शॉर्ट टर्म, म्हणजे देयर इज कंटिन्युअस फ्लक्च्युएशन इन करन्सी रेट. त्यामुळे काय होतं, मग युअर ट्रान्झॅक्शन व्हॅल्यू गेट्स चेंज. Today, suppose if dollar rate is 76 and tomorrow if it is slightly increased by even by 76.25, so 0.25, the transaction amount gets changed by 0.25. Vice versa, suppose today rate is 76 and suppose tomorrow morning if dollar rate comes down, say 70.50 paise, so 0.50 paise, your transaction will be affected. त्याला म्हणतो आपण ट्रान्झॅक्शन एक्सपोजर. नाउ in order to avoid this fluctuation, so is there any solution? Yes, there is a solution. कारण ही रिस्क आहे, so to avoid this risk there is a solution. So what is that solution? One can go for swap करू शकता तुम्ही. You can use this tool, swap, किंवा there is another tool that is say call option. You can choose call option. Put नाही घ्यायचा, call घ्यायचा, call option, so that you can minimize this transaction exposure. So basically transaction exposure which is related to the transaction and whether you are paying in dollar currency or you are getting dollar currency. So there is a fluctuation in exchange rate. To avoid fluctuation in exchange rate, one can go for either call option or swap. So this way we can minimize the risk. So this was about transaction exposure. Second one is translation exposure. Now what is this translation exposure? Please try to understand. Restarting foreign financial statements of the parent company, also called accounting. This is also called as accounting exposure. Here I have mentioned accounting exposure. That is another word. transaction exposure or accounting exposure. It is one and the same thing. In some book you will see the word accounting exposure. Accounting exposure म्हणजेच translation exposure. Translation म्हणजे आपण जसं one word we translate to Hindi, English to Hindi or English to Marathi. तर ते translation नाही आहे. Translation here, company, they don't liquidate their assets, but they value their assets. Valuation करतात. Liquidation नाही. Liquidation म्हणजे काय? Asset विकणे. त्याला आपण म्हणतो liquidation. तर इथे आपण asset विकत नाहीयेत. We are just valuing our assets. तर त्यावेळेला there is a risk in valuation of assets. तर काय रिस्क आहे? Parent company present measurement of past events, such exercise result in the national gain or losses in short term. म्हणजे कसं एक्झाम्पल मी तुम्हाला देतो. समजा इंडियन कंपनी, they have opened their office in USA. इंडियन कंपनीचं ऑफिस USA मध्ये आहे. आता इंडियन कंपनीचं ऑफिस कुठे आहे? USA मध्ये. आणि हेड ऑफिस कुठे आहे? म्हणजे त्यांनी एक ब्रांच ओपन केलेली आहे USA ला. इंडियन कंपनी म्हणजे त्याचं हेड ऑफिस कुठे आलं मग? हॅलो, I repeat my example. There is an Indian company who have opened their business office in USA, but their head office in Mumbai. Head office in Mumbai. So naturally, when their office is in Mumbai, so they will have to prepare accounts in Mumbai office, that is in India. So when they prepare their accounts in Mumbai office, now whatever transactions they have done in USA office, USA branch, suppose if they are closing their transaction in Mumbai office, जो काही रेट आहे त्याप्रमाणे ते दाखवतील. ते ट्रान्सलेट करतील, म्हणजे त्याचं कन्व्हर्जन करतील in Mumbai office. Actually they are not selling, assets are as it is in USA, but they are just making valuation. So if dollar increases, naturally the value will be increased, value will be more. Vice versa, if dollar decreases, the value will be lesser. फक्त व्हॅल्युएशन आपण इथं बघतोय. वी आर नॉट गेटिंग ऍक्च्युअल मनी. ऍक्च्युअल मध्ये मला पैशाचा व्यवहार नाही आहे. बिकॉज मी तुम्हाला आधीच क्लिअर केलं की इथे लिक्विडेशन होत नाही. लिक्विडेशन म्हणजे विक्री किंवा खरेदी नाही होते, फक्त आपण व्हॅल्युएशन करतोय फॉर अवर नॉलेज पर्पज. तर त्याला म्हणतो आपण ट्रान्सलेशन एक्सपोजर. थर्ड वन इज इकॉनॉमिक एक्सपोजर. नाउ व्हॉट इज द इकॉनॉमिक एक्सपोजर? कन्सिडर्स फर्म्स इंटरनॅशनल अर्निंग पॉवर, की आपल्या कंपनीचं इंटरनॅशनल अर्निंग पॉवर ही कशा कशावर आहे. So it depends upon the political stability, then economic stability of that country, population of that country. So these are the 2-3 factors which are involved in economic exposure: population, then political stability, on the basis of that economic exposure can be known. So long run effect, NPV stand here. NPV means net present value. Net present value. So net present value is to be calculated that today how much amount you are spending, that is your excuse me, how much amount you are spending today, that is involved as a cash outlay, and how we will be receiving inflow. So there is a comparison of outflow and inflow, and that inflow we convert into the present terms with some discounting factor. We convert into the present term, that is known as NPV. If there is a positive NPV, we assume that the proposal is profitable, economical. If there is a negative NPV, then such proposal is not beneficial, it is not economical. So we go for positive NPV and not negative, remember. And suppose if there are more than one proposals are there, suppose if more than one proposal, and if all are positive NPV, you have to make a ranking. The highest NPV value will be given first priority, and then next, likewise, we'll have to give the ranking on the basis of positive value. All are positive, but त्याच्यामध्ये सगळ्यात जास्त जे काही पॉझिटिव्ह आहे that will be number 1. त्याच्यानंतर number 2, number 3. So that way you have to make ranking. हे ranking आपण केव्हा करणार? If there are more than one proposal. If there is a single proposal, then you just check out whether if there is a positive NPV, accept it. If there is a negative NPV, reject it. So economic exposure. Let's go ahead. Next slide. That how do we manage risk, management of risk? So transaction risk can be reduced by using forward contract and option. तर ऑप्शन मध्ये पण आपण कॉल वापरतो. कॉल ऑप्शन मध्ये काय वापरायचं आपण? ऑप्शन remember this call. In option there is put and call. So here you have to use call. Use call. So this was about the foreign exchange risk. We have discussed in foreign exchange risk. There are 3 types of exposure: transaction exposure, translation exposure, and economic exposure. Under exchange risk, type of exchange risk, there are 3 types of exchange risk: transaction, translation, and economic. We discussed in transaction, it is solely depends upon the exchange rate, and in translation, we do not liquidate assets, but we value assets. आपण असेट विकत नाही किंवा खरेदी करत नाही, फक्त आपण व्हॅल्युएशन करतो. ते ट्रान्सलेशन मध्ये होतं. इकॉनॉमिक मध्ये काय होतं? इकॉनॉमिक बेसिकली कन्सिडर्स पॉप्युलेशन, देन पर्चेसिंग पॉवर. These things are being focused on economic exposure. So this was about types of foreign exchange. Now we will go to the next topic of unit number 5, that is IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. So before we go to the IFRS, if you have any doubt what we discuss in type of foreign exchange risk, that is transaction, translation, and economic exposure. If you have any doubt, please ask. Otherwise, we will move to the next topic. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So may I go to the next topic now? IFRS. Yes, now can you see my PPT? Yes, can you see my PPT? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can you see my PPT? What it is? Can you read out the title?
Yes, sir.
What is the title?
IFRS.
Yes, IFRS. IFRS stand for International Financial Reporting Standard. IFRS stand for International Financial Reporting Standard. Since our international finance subject, so we will be talking on International Financial Reporting System. In India also we have, but that system is known as IAS. IAS. IAS stand for Indian Accounting Standard. IAS. In Indian scenario, we call as IA. Yes, IAS stand for Indian Accounting Standards. Okay. So in Indian Accounting Standard, there are about 41 accounting standards. How many? There are about how many? 41. Whereas in IFRS, there are 16 to 17 accounting standard. किती आहेत IFRS मध्ये? IAS मध्ये 41 आहेत आणि IFRS मध्ये 16 ते 17 अकाउंटिंग स्टँडर्ड आहेत. Just for your information, I am sharing these details to you, and the difference between IAS and IFRS. IAS, which is applicable in Indian companies, and IFRS, which is applicable for MNCs. MNC companies should follow IFRS because they are having their business in a multiple country. So that is why they need to follow IFRS. And if company having their business only in their own country, that is domestic business, then they will have to follow IAS. Are you clear with this difference? Who is supposed to follow IFRS and who is supposed to follow IAS? Clear with this difference? IFRS कौन follow करतो? Who follows IFRS? Yes, can you answer me? Who follow IFRS? Who follow IFRS? Who follow IFRS? All MNC company. MNC company, they follow IFRS. Okay, and IFRS stand for International Financial Reporting Standards. Now next, this is just quote about attitude. He is able. Who thinks he is able? Now, if I say that he is able, but looking at his body structure, then we feel that who thinks he is able, because he is not having hand, he's just having his leg. See, there are no hands. At least we can see one side. There is no hand. Can you see this picture?
Yes, sir.
So this person, this guy is not having a hand, but still with her ability and desire, person is trying to open gate. See, look at her leg. With the help of leg, a person has opened door. So this is the attitude. Why I am sharing this picture to you? See, in international scenario, there are a lot of issues are there. Lot of issues. There are cultural issues. There are political problems are there. There are sometimes war situation. But in spite of that, one should continue to fight with all these issues. They should not give up. They should not give up their business. Whatever cultural differences are there, whatever political differences are there, or there may be fluctuation in foreign currency, ups and down. That doesn't mean that you should stop your business. You should continue with all these issues. And one should be ready to fight with this issue. That is why I have shared this picture. Now this gentleman, though he is not having hand, but still he is not giving up his activity. He is continuing with activity. In the same way, if you are into the international business, do not give up your business. Never, never ever you give up your business. Challenges are there. Accept those challenges and fight against challenges. So this attitude one should have. So will you follow this attitude or not? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now, again, now this is the quote, but again, the same quote is also given by our late President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam. Just go through this quote. I will not read. You go through this quote, but the same quote, this quote is given by Robert, but the same quote also given by Dr. Abdul Kalam, our former President of India. Go through this quote. So do you remember even Abdul Kalam also have said about these lines? Are you aware of these lines which are also said by Dr. Abdul Kalam? Did you read this?
Yes, sir.
So are you getting the same lines were also told by Abdul Kalam or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So pursue your dream and convert your dream into reality. Just we should not be in a dream only. Those dreams we should be converted to reality, and then there will be success. Now let us go back to our topic, that is IFRS, International Financial Reporting System. It is a GAAP. Now anybody knows? This meaning of GAAP. Anybody knows meaning of GAAP? Long form of GAAP. If you know, tell me. If you don't know, tell me that you don't know. It is
So generally
GA.
accepted accounting principles.
Yes, generally accepted accounting principles. So it is at par. This IFRS is also at par GAAP. So it is GAAP only. Generally accepted accounting principles. So worldwide, these accounting principles are being followed. So there can be 192 GAAP or more. So more than 192, there are GAAP. IFRS is global GAAP. So one of the IFRS, this is global GAAP worldwide. Then we can compare with FEMA. FEMA, it is an act that is foreign exchange, or FERA. These are all related to the foreign exchange. FEMA and FERA, these are the act related to what area? These are the act which are passed by our Indian government, and these acts are related to what? FE. FE stand for what? Yes. F म्हणजे काय? F stand for foreign. E for exchange. Okay. Foreign exchange. So this law is related to the foreign exchange. So Income Tax Act 1961. Let's go to the next slide. Now, what is IFRS? Now, IFRS defined in Indian Accounting Standard in 1.7. त्याच्यात असं डिफाइन केलेलं आहे, standards and interpretations adopted by the International Accounting Standards Board, IASB. IASB म्हणजे काय? International Accounting Standard Board. They comprise म्हणजे हे स्टँडर्ड्स त्यांनी अडॉप्ट केलेले आहेत IASB ने. त्यांनी काय म्हटलेले आहे? इंटरनॅशनल फायनान्शियल रिपोर्टिंग स्टँडर्ड, देन इंटरनॅशनल अकाउंटिंग स्टँडर्ड्स and interpretation developed by the International Financial Reporting Interpretation Committee. हे वेगळ्या कमिटीज आहेत. And there is one more committee, SIC. SIC stand for Standing Interpretation Committee. हे सगळे कमिटी आणि जे काही बोर्ड आहेत, they have adopted this IFRS. They have adopted this IFRS. Let me erase this. Now, understand the structure of IFRS foundation. So IFRS foundation, it is linked with, basically, it is linked with IFRS committee. Okay. And then there is monitoring board. Monitoring board job is to monitor the foreign exchange, monitoring board. And there is one advisory committee, IFRS advisory committee. So this advisory committee always gives advice to this various committee. Now, IFRS committee is being appointed by this foundation. So for foundation appoints this IFRS committee. And then there is a mutual discussion with this committee, foundation and advisory committee and board. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these four group, they always have mutual discussion amongst them. And then through IASB, that is International Accounting Standard Board, this is the board. Through this board, they create IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard. So this way, the activity take place. So this is nothing but the working of IASB, that is International Accounting Standard Board. That's a working it. Then next slide. Now accounting. Now in accounting, accounting consists of two things, systems and methods. So accounting consists of two things, systems and methods. Now system are of two types. मेथड तर एकच आहे पण सिस्टीम दोन प्रकारच्या आहेत. विच आर द सिस्टीम? सिंगल एंट्री, सिंगल बुक, आपण म्हणतो ना सिंगल एंट्री बुक किपिंग and double entry bookkeeping. But nowadays, which system is being followed? Single or double? Yes.
Sir, double entry.
Yes, double entry. So we follow double entry. Single entry, it is the old style. Now nobody follows single entry. Now there is no single entry. There is only double entry. But since there are two systems, that is why we have mentioned single entry and double entry. These are the two systems. Then method of accounting, cash, accrual, mix. काही ठिकाणी कॅश मध्ये जे व्यवहार होतात, ओनली दोज ट्रान्झॅक्शन्स आर रेकॉर्डेड, ओनली कॅश. In some cases, accrual basis means even if there is a credit transaction happens, either receipts or payment, that is also being considered. त्याला म्हणतो आपण accrual. And third one is mixed. म्हणजे there is a combination of cash as well as accrual. म्हणजे mix, त्याला म्हणतो आपण mix. Accrual मध्ये कॅशचा काय संबंध नाही, कॅश मध्ये accrual नाही आहे. But in mix मध्ये cash and accrual दोन्ही आहे. So in India we follow mixed. What India follows? Indian company, what they follow? Mixed accounting system. आलं का लक्षात? Indian company, they
Yes,
follow mixed cash and accrual. Now Indian economists, this Luca introduced double entry principles. Just for your information, की double entry कधी अस्तित्वात आला? The double entry, it was introduced by this Italian economist Luca. He introduced double entry. So every debit has or has to have equal credit. ते आपण शिकलोय मॅनेजमेंट अकाउंटिंग मध्ये, बरोबर ना? Every debit has corresponding credit and every credit has corresponding debit. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So no need to have more explanation on that because you all are aware that double entry system. Let's go ahead. That is principles of accounting. All account sheets have to fall in three types. हे आपल्याला golden rules of account: personal account, real account, and nominal account. And you go to the any corner of the world, you will come to know there are three types of account: personal, real, and nominal. याच्यामध्ये कुठेही बदल नाही आहे. Whether you work in India or you work in Switzerland or maybe you work in Japan. So these are the three types. हे principle of accounting आहे. हे कुठेच चेंज नाही आहे पूर्ण जगामध्ये. Personal, real, and nominal. These are the golden rules. Golden rule प्रत्येकाला माहिती आहे. If I ask you, what is the rule for personal account? आठवतं का तुम्हाला? What is the rule for real account?
Yes.
What is the real account rule?
Debit what comes in, credit what goes out.
Yes. So even these rules are also under GAAP, that is IFRS. GAAP मध्ये सुद्धा याचा या रूलचा समावेश केलेला आहे. तुम्हाला जर काही एक्झामिनेशन मध्ये IFRS ची नोट जर विचारली तर प्लीज डू मेन्शन दिस IFRS. ओके. देन कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ फायनान्शियल स्टेटमेंट. आपण काय काय जोडतो फायनान्शियल स्टेटमेंट मध्ये? अ स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फायनान्शियल पोझिशन as at the end of the period, generally 31st of March. आपले जनरली फायनान्शियल स्टेटमेंट आपण बॅलन्स शीट कुठल्या तारखेचं तयार करतो? स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 1st April टू एंडिंग ऑन 31st March. Am I correct? Generally.
Yes, sir.
So that end period you have to mention. Then statement of comprehensive income for the period, ज्याला आपण म्हणतो प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंट, comprehensive income statement. Then a statement of changes in equity for the period. हे change in हे कशामध्ये मिळतं आपल्याला? Fund flow statement. So we need to prepare fund flow statement along with this balance sheet. माहिती आहे ना fund flow statement? Have you heard this word, fund flow statement? Cash flow statement, fund flow statement, cash flow, fund flow.
Yes, sir.
So that shows the changes in assets. Then statement cash flows म्हणजे कॅश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट. त्यानंतर नोट्स म्हणजे काय, प्रत्येक बॅलन्स शीटच्या बरोबर काही नोट्स पण असतात की ज्याच्यामध्ये जस्टिफिकेशन असतात. इट इज कॉल्ड एज अ जस्टिफिकेशन. मे बी इफ दे हॅव चेंज डेप्रिसिएशन मेथड, इफ दे हॅव चेंज व्हॅल्युएशन मेथड. व्हॉट आर द व्हॅल्युएशन मेथड ऑफ स्टॉक? व्हॅल्युएशन मेथड काय काय बरं स्टॉकच्या? फिफो मेथड, लिफो मेथड, ऍव्हरेज मेथड आहेत की नाही? फिफो, लिफो, हिपो आहेत ना मेथड या? हॅलो, डेप्रिसिएशनच्या काय काय मेथड आहेत? डेप्रिसिएशन, व्हॉट आर द मेथड्स ऑफ डेप्रिसिएशन? हाऊ डू वी चार्ज डेप्रिसिएशन? येस, डेप्रिसिएशनचे मेथड आहेत का नाही आहेत? WDB, स्ट्रेट लाईन मेथड, या वेगळ्या मेथड आहेत डेप्रिसिएशनच्या. Now in case if you are changing depreciation method, you have to give a note. So that is why these are the components of financial statement. Note द्यावे लागते. Then a statement of financial position as at the beginning of the earliest comparative period. And then asset statement पर द्यावं लागतं. त्यानंतर continue elements of financial statement. The elements of financial statement: फायनान्शियल पोझिशन, असेट्स अँड लायबिलिटी. ज्या काही असेट्स आहेत त्याच्यात डेप्रिसिएशन मायनस करून जी काही नेट व्हॅल्यू आहे दॅट विल बी मेन्शन इन फिनान्शियल पोझिशन. लायबिलिटीज, इक्विटी, दिस विल कम अंडर द लायबिलिटी साइड. इक्विटी अँड लायबिलिटीज. ऑन अन असेट साइड ऑल असेट्स, फिक्स असेट अँड करंट असेट. देन परफॉर्मन्स, इन्कम. हे दिस इज नथिंग बट द परफॉर्मन्स कशावरती असते? इन्कम, किती इन्कम जनरेट केलं आणि किती एक्सपेन्स केले. and how you have control expenses, that is performance. Income, revenue and gains. Then so these things we have to mention in IFRS. So this was about all IFRS. So today we are discuss foreign exchange risk, type of risk, and IFRS. So this was topic we are discussing today of Unit 5. So before we close today's session, if you need doubt or question, you are free to ask. Any question or doubt?
No, sir.
Okay then. So we'll end the session today. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.